And if you're the Dallas Mavericks, clearly you lost all faith in Luka Doncic. You just guided the team to the NBA Finals, and they're saying sayonara to you. Why would they do that at the age of 25?
That is a fair question from Stephen A, but his response that it's just about the weight and conditioning issues does not paint the full picture. There are more factors at play, and in this video, I'll go through both the reported and rumored reasons why Dallas actually decided to part ways with their generational star. If you ask me, the official narrative doesn't quite add up. We're hearing about Luka's weight issues, how Dallas was frustrated with his conditioning, and how they didn't trust him with another supermax contract. Okay, fine, maybe that's valid if we're talking about a 35-year-old who can't stay in shape. But Luka's 25 and arguably top 3 player in the league. If the Mavs' only worry was health, would they really turn around and trade him for Anthony Davis, who has a long injury history? Something's fishy here. According to reports on both ESPN and Bleacher Report, the Mavs had major concerns about Luka's discipline and dedication to conditioning. Some sources say he ballooned up to the high 260s early this season. But again, if weight was the only factor, you would think they would chop him for a guaranteed star in mid-20s. Instead, they went with an older, frequently injured AD. To me, that suggests that the Mavs' issues with Luka go way deeper than just a couple of extra pounds. While this trade left literally everybody shook, those who have been following the behind-the-scenes chatter are not as surprised. Apparently, Dallas was fed up with Luka altogether. His attitude, behavior, and the way he carries himself on and off the court.
Brian Windhorst trashed Luka Doncic. You remember, very famously, torched him on national television. He said not once did anybody from the Dallas Mavericks complain to him.
The management got to a point where they're just done and saw no other way to solve the problem other than shipping the Slovenian off. According to a story that a basketball trainer Devin Williams shared, Luka was constantly clowning around in practice, not taking training seriously, chucking shots off the backboard like it's all a joke. Sure, when you're the franchise star who's been carrying the team, you might have the right to do so. But if the management sends you signals to lock in and you don't, these might be the consequences. Remember this short clip where Luka's beer gets snatched? It might have been funny in that moment, but looking at it now, you start to wonder how many times stuff like that happened behind the scenes. When we talk about Luka's approach, it's also about the on-court stuff. The constant jawing at the refs, the zero effort on defense at times, and the body language that screams, "I'm over this." That trickles down to the entire roster. No matter how insanely talented you are, if you're not about the team concept, it's draining. And apparently, it got to a point where the Mavs just couldn't handle the drama. Same way I can't handle that you're not subscribed to our channel, so I think now is the time and you're better than that. Now let's not forget that every year, he also insists on playing for Slovenia in the summers, even when he's banged up. Just last summer, Nico Harrison, the same GM that traded him, said this: "As long as he can walk, he will play for Slovenia." Obviously, representing your national team is important, but Luka has a track record of going to a FIBA tournament after a grueling NBA season and then coming into the preseason out of shape. When he plays for Slovenia, surprise surprise, he's an even more important piece to the team and usually plays almost without substitutions. In fact, there's probably no other major European national team that has such a shallow talent pool around the star, especially after Goran Dragic retired. And you know what? Even despite the injuries Luka's had this season, he's planning to represent the Slovenian national team this summer in the Eurobasket. So it's no surprise that Mavs saw it as just another way of him not putting his NBA team first, neglecting rest, and risking bigger injuries. And I get it, from a GM standpoint, that's terrifying. You're about to hand out a supermax contract worth around $345 million to a guy who's not fully committed to the way that you want to run your program. One who might keep showing up at the training camp out of shape, then run off and play international ball right after the season ends. I guess at some point you can see why Dallas said, "Can we keep enabling this?" The crazy part is how they pulled the trigger on this trade without publicly shopping Luka around. Normally, if a star is on the market, you would start a bidding war.
That's just such a horrible trade. Like, at least make it make sense. Hate everything about it.
The reports say that the Mavs wanted to keep Luka from picking a destination the way we've seen other stars do. Because once a guy says, "I only want to go here," your leverage is gone and all that. However, I don't think this makes sense. KD wanted to be traded to the Suns, and the Nets still received a house and a half. Furthermore, looking back at the Nets-Knicks trade where Mikal Bridges was traded for another 5 first-round picks, you could argue that Durant was traded for 9 first-rounders in total plus Cam Johnson. And he was 35 years old. Anyways, Dallas blindsided Luka. One day you're on the Mavs celebrating National Texas Day, the next you're a Laker. Rumor has it even LeBron was caught off guard, sitting at lunch, clueless that AD was about to be shipped out. Money-wise, Luka's taking a huge hit. He's losing out on that Supermax extension and moving from tax-free Texas to California's lovely 13.3% rate for high earners. So not only did he get booted off a team that he wanted to play for his whole career, but he's also losing a truckload of cash. On the flip side, Mavs fans are furious.
I've been a Mavs fan my whole entire life since I've been a baby. This is the worst moment in the history of my life.
They could win every game the rest of the season and win the championship, and it wouldn't really matter because all of the emotional value and in that journey just got sucked away.
They lost their future MVP caliber player and only got AD in return. People are protesting, they're unfollowing the Mavs on social media, and the reaction is basically, we gave up a generational star for what exactly? Now the man at the center of this for Dallas is GM Nico. Some fans call him a double agent for the Lakers, others love him for the bold moves he's made so far. Acquiring Kyrie Irving, Quentin Grimes, drafting Derek Lively, adding guys like PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford. Those moves helped the Mavs reach the finals just last year. But shipping Luka out, well, that's the real test of whether he knows what he's actually doing. If AD stays healthy and pairs up well with Kyrie, Dallas might be scary in the playoffs. But if it doesn't click, or AD just goes down, they have mortgaged their entire future for a star that can stay on the court. Plus, they failed to snag multiple first-round picks or younger assets. Something you would expect when trading a 25-year-old superstar. Compare that to the Gobert or Mikal Bridges trades, which brought in a treasure chest of picks. The Mavs didn't even get close to that haul.
Rob Pelinka was able to convince the Dallas Mavericks that Luka is a lot of risk. Yeah. And you guys are right for trying to look at this way, because this guy, is drinking or is whatever, his weight problem, whatever it is.
From the Lakers' perspective, this is a major win, if they handle Luka right. He's not gonna get the same star treatment he got in Dallas, where everyone tiptoed around him. The Lakers are bigger than any one player, and they've got a rich history of icons who conform to that franchise standard. If Luka shows up to LA out of shape and tries to throw his weight around literally and figuratively, he's going to find out quickly that the vibe isn't the same. But if he's smart, he'll learn from LeBron.
Who was your favorite player growing up in the NBA that you admired?
LeBron James.
Think about it, if your idol is the dude who's redefined longevity in the NBA, maybe you follow his example and start taking your body seriously. If that happens, we could be looking at an interesting duo until LeBron calls it quits, and then Luka becomes the face of the Lakers for the next decade. Let's also not ignore how big this is for the league. Luka in Los Angeles is a marketing dream. As talented as he is, Dallas never really got the same spotlight as teams in the bigger markets. So the NBA probably loves this. Ratings will skyrocket with Luka in purple and gold, and the storylines, especially the friction if Luka doesn't adapt, will keep the league in the headlines. So, can Luka adapt? Or will he remain the same out-of-shape superstar that Dallas gave up on? I think regardless, LA has gotten the best out of this trade. If this version of Luka was already selected to the All-NBA team 5 times at the age of 25, led the league in scoring, and got Mavs to the finals, then just imagine what happens if he's locked in. We're talking about another chapter to their legacy of iconic superstars. But what do you think was the real reason Dallas traded Luka? Let's discuss in the comments below. Also make sure to subscribe to our channel for some more NBA takes from the overseas, and I'll see you in the next video.